A very good afternoon. Welcome to AFCB TV ahead of Bournemouth against Bristol City in the Professional Development League. The Cherries coming into today's game, a double week game off the back of a 2-2 draw at home to Cardiff City earlier on this week. And it's two changes for Alan Connell's side today. In come Johnny Day and Remy Rees-Dotton into the starting 11. Harold William and Malcolm Da Costa Gonzalez dropping out of the squad this afternoon. Johnny Day will go up top alongside Eugene Nyarko. Remy Rees-Dotton slotting in down that left-hand side for the Cherries. Two changes for Bristol City as well from their 1-0 defeat away at Brentford last time out. They bring in Hogg and Taylor for Chaplin and Skinner. The Bournemouth team for you in full will be Danny Dixon in goal this afternoon. Kobe Moto at right back alongside Charlie Osborne. And Matai Akimboni at centre back this afternoon for the Cherries. Alfie Merritt will play at left back. Ahead of the back four in the middle of the park, Zach Christie alongside Charlie Stevens, who will captain the side this afternoon. Be Michael Da Costa Gonzalez down the right wing. Off the back of scoring the equalising penalty late on in stoppage time earlier on this week in that 2-2 draw against Cardiff. Remy Rees-Dotton, as we said, down the left. Johnny Day alongside Eugene Nyarko up top for the Cherries. On the bench, Zavia Campbell, Jalil Conte, Ethan Sills, Noah Bouton and George Chubendese. Your Bristol City side this afternoon, Isaac Finch will play in goal. Marley Thirlwell, Joseph James, Archie Taylor and Zach Alley. Your back four, Leo Pakova, Callum Hewlett, Daniel Ezendu. Jed Meerholz will play along the midfield. Jack Griffin alongside Harry Hogg. These are the two forward central attacking players. This game being held at Bournemouth's Performance Centre in Camford Magna. A lot of overnight rain, adding to what we've already seen fall in recent weeks. As you can see the flooding there in the distance, but the pitch looking in great condition. Great to see Johnny Day out there from the start this afternoon. Again, fresh from a goal in that game against Cardiff. A brilliantly taken goal as well to get Bournemouth's comeback underway. 2-0 down they were against Cardiff earlier on this week inside the opening half an hour. Coming back to draw 2-2 despite being reduced to 10 men early on in the second half. Early touch for Dixon at the back for the Cherries. Osborne. Good interception there ahead of Moto. Flow into the Cherries. Bournemouth fifth in the Professional Development League table coming into this game this afternoon. 28 points so far. 11 points after leaders Sheffield United, but with the game in hand, but with some significant ground to make up on the league leaders. Bristol City, 10 places below the Cherries in 15th. 18 points so far, so 10 points behind Alan Connell's side. Have played a game more than the Cherries this season. Stevens, nice touch into the alley. Hewlett. Rees-Dotton with a good interception and some lovely footwork there. Rees-Dotton to give the Cherries the lead inside the opening 2 minutes. Brilliant work from Remy Rees-Dotton. Winning the ball back high. Lovely turn of pace and footwork there. And the finish to go with it. Slotting it past Finch. Bournemouth take an early lead. Remy Rees-Dotton on the score sheet. Be full of confidence, I'm sure, at the moment, Rees-Dotton, after a good stint with the first team. Involved in many Premier League matchday squads recently. Saw some game time in the FA Cup, of course, away at Newcastle too. And that was the finish of a player full of confidence. And the perfect start for Alan Connell's side. And searching for a second early on as well. Cut off in there by Hewlett. Bit of room and space down the left here for Ali. Early ball into the Cherries box. Well kept in over on that far side. Merritt across to close off the angle. Here's Stevens. Finch has come a long way out of his box and dealt with it well. Bournemouth's goal scorer Rhys Dotton. One, two with Griffin. Hewlett. Ali. Ezendu. Akambone with the interception. Da Costa Gonzalez, early through ball, looking for the run of day. Dealt with by Finch. All the way back with Dixon in goal for the Cherries. Very good afternoon to you if you're just joining us a little late here on AFC BTV. Today's coverage being brought to you in partnership with ESET and Bournemouth in front, early doors. Remy Rhys Dotton with a really tidy finish. Here come Bristol City at the other end. Well closed down there from Hogshot. Meerholz. Hewlett. Meerholz again. Given the time to turn. Room for Ali down the left. Back into Meerholz. Decides against that early cross into the box. Bournemouth with that deep defensive line at the moment. Taylor. Playing it centre-back alongside Callum Hewlett, the 19-year-old. Archie Taylor, and they'll work it out to the left again in Ali. Pakova, bundled over, and wins the free kick. It was Bristol City who came out on top when these two sides met earlier on in the season, back in 2025, October time. 4-0 win for Bristol City. Thomas, Skinner, Ali and Ferguson all on target for the visitors. Ali with the delivery. Well headed clear. Here's Moto. Up and early looking for the run of day. Well cut off. An important interception there from Thelwell. Thelwell again. Turns away from a bit of trouble. Pakova. Pakova with the right-footed shot. Well wide of Danny Dixon's goal. Lovely couple of touches there just to make room for the shot. Couldn't find the target. First opportunity on Danny Dixon's goal for Bristol City in this game. Hewlett looks up early. Well, cut off by Christie there in the middle. Stevens again looking direct and early for the run of day, and he's been fouled there, wiped out by the goalkeeper Finch, and wins a free kick for the Cherries. Really good forward play there from Johnny Day. The through ball was really well weighted from Charlie Stevens. Will be a yellow card for Isaac Finch, the Bristol City goalkeeper. For the first time in this match, we've seen him come a fair distance outside of his 18-yard area, sweeping up. Johnny Day getting the better of him on that occasion. And a chance for Bournemouth now to test this Robins backline for the first time aerially, maybe, with a delivery into the box. Zach Christie will take. Stepping up again from the Cherries under 16s. Christie, right-footed to the front post. Plenty of time and space for Moto to reset at the back. Dixon looking for Rhys Dotton, the Bournemouth goal scorer, in the 2nd minute of the game. Catching the Robins out as they tried to clear. Having won the ball back, Rhys Dotton putting in a lovely turn and then finished down low as well into the far corner. Osborne, Moto. Former Arsenal and Pompey youngster. A versatile winger. Slotting it right back for the Cherries this afternoon. Day. Foul on Moto. Free kick to the Cherries. If this is your first time with us on AFCB TV, a very warm welcome to you. Just to set the scene, give you a bit of context, the Professional Development League features 20 clubs from Category 2 academies. There is a slightly new format for this season. 2 regional groups, North and South. Of course, the Cherries going well if you were to look at the South table, but it is just the one table which is taken into consideration this season. Bournemouth will play every team in the South section, home and away, and then they will play each team in the Northern section once, either home or away. And then it is the team at the top of the table at the end of the competition after 28 games that will be crowned the Professional Development League winner. As we said, Bournemouth 11 points off the leaders Sheffield United at the moment. But the top 8 will progress through to the knockout stages. Bournemouth trying through the middle again. Well cut off by the Robins. Christie with a header clear. To Costa Gonzalez. To Nyarko. Works it out to Moto. To Costa Gonzalez ahead of him. Instead, will find the feet of Christie. Akambone. The American to the feet of Merritt. Nyarko. Finch. Yeah, the knockout stages, once the General League is done, we'll see the top 8 teams from the Professional Development League take on the bottom 8 from Premier League 2. Here's Ali. A good interception from Christie there. And a free kick one as well by Day. Good defensive play by the Cherries there. Zach Christie had to time that well and did just that. The free kick's gone the other way against Day. And that will be the Cherries backline tested for the first time. Ali not happy with the distance of the Bournemouth wall. Moto deciding to step away from that wall. Ali to deliver. Dangerous one to the back post. It's beaten everyone. In that corridor of uncertainty there from Zach Ali. Akambone to Dixon. And Dixon will clear long. To Costa Gonzalez getting up to win the aerial battle. Well won back there in the middle of the park by Ezendu. Here is Ezendu again. Some tidy footwork, but Da Costa Gonzalez doing really well to recover and get all the way back there to track Ezendo into the box. Ezendo, one of a few players for Bristol City, stepping up from their under-18 side to play in this game today. Along with Leo Pakova and Marley Thirlwell. There is Thirlwell, cut off by Akambone. That's a lovely touch into the path of day. It's got Da Costa Gonzalez flying forward. Here is Da Costa Gonzalez onto that left foot. Brilliant save. Can Bournemouth turn the rebound in? Out to Moto. Let's put it wide. Really sharp, quick, pacey build-up play from the Cherries there. Michael Da Costa Gonzalez with a cute little cut inside. And Isaac Finch called into action to deny him with that save down low to the right. See this little cut back inside again there from Da Costa Gonzalez. Tried to pick his spot in the bottom corner. Good save from Isaac Finch. Rebound just wouldn't fall for Bournemouth. Still just that Remy Rees-Dotton goal inside the second minute. It separates the two sides. Free kick there for push on the back of Jack Griffin. Ali. Hewlett. Bournemouth happy to wait and then initiate the press. Nyarko. He's done well there to squeeze the Robins. Merritt with the throw for the Cherries. Cut off by Hogg. Back with Christie. Christie looking for Day and Da Costa Gonzalez. Stevens on the edge of the box. Did well to get there. Couldn't find a red and black shirt. Bournemouth unbeaten in their last three in all competitions. That draw against Cardiff earlier on this week, the first time they've been held in this competition. And of course, before that, Bournemouth in Premier League Cup action. Historic Premier League Cup action as well, as they reached the quarter-finals for the first time. Day, strong play from Day. Here's Nyarko, still Nyarko, and again Finch called into action. Day's done really well there, just with a bit of physicality on the edge of the box. Just that second touch from Nyarko just took him too far away from goal. Been given as a goal kick for a moment, like Finch had saved the Robins again. First touch from Nyarko, just taking him too far. Come the Cherries again. Heavy touch this time from Da Costa Gonzalez. Michael, the eldest of the two Da Costa Gonzalez brothers. Malcolm's featured a few times on the bench for the first team this season. Michael not unfamiliar to that territory either. Hewlett. To Pakova. Pakova held up there by Christie and Stevens. Stevens and Christie hunting in packs and doing well. Moto waiting for a bit of movement. Comes from Day. Christie with the header. Akambone. Merritt. Osborne with the long direct ball, looking for the run of Da Costa Gonzalez. A little bit too much on that. Throw into Bristol City. Just one win in their last 3 games for the Robins. Our away form. Just 1 win in 8 on the road this season. That's 3-0. Away at the bottom side, Colchester. Bournemouth have been in really good form at home this season. 6 wins, beating Charlton, Colchester, Watford, Swansea, Sheffield Wednesday and Huddersfield in Dorset. A couple of defeats in there. Losing to Peterborough and QPR. And Connell's side have been racking the points up at home. Taylor. Finch goes long. I was looking for Thelwell down the right for Bristol. Well read there by Merritt. Osborne. Moto. Flag up there for offside against Johnny Day. Bournemouth looking really dangerous in those areas as they try and set Day away. Not for the first time this afternoon. Just that final moment, that final ball. Not quite there for him yet. Thelwell. Pakova. Archie Taylor. Akambone looks up early. Here's Day again. He's got goal side, Johnny Day. Charging down on goal. And he's got the finish to go with it too. Through the legs of the keeper. 2-2 for Johnny Day. And Bournemouth double their lead. The Cherries 2, Bristol City 0. And we said just a few moments ago, just that final ball, that final moment hadn't quite been there for Day up until that point. Brilliant pace from Day. Powerful running through the middle. And a great striker's finish as well. 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, making no mistake. Bournemouth open up a bit of a cushion in this Professional Development League game. Remy Rees-Stoughton opening the scoring very early on to set the tone for the Cherries. Just 2 minutes into this match. Osborne does well there under a bit of pressure. Flicked on early by Da Costa Gonzalez. Day wins the header. Stevens. Rees-Stoughton again down low. Good save again by Finch. Not for the first time this afternoon to deny the Cherries. Lovely first time ball from Stevens there. Bournemouth get a little bit of luck with the ricochet into the path of Rees-Stoughton. Similar sort of angle and position from his early goal. This time, Finch coming out on top. Bournemouth looking really dangerous in the final third. Merritt with the interception. Finch. Pakova. Trying to kill it dead out of the sky. Unable to do so. Throw into the cherries and Moto. Into his second year with the club now, Kobe Moto. Joined back in July 2024. Here's Hogg. Still Hogg. Good running from Hogg. A foul in there. Charlie Stevens. Positioning his body between man and ball. Drawing the foul. And just killing the pressure. As Bristol City look to try and develop something. So far, it's been a pretty comfortable opening 24 minutes for that back four of Moto, Osborne, Akambone and Merritt. Day wins the flick on. Foul in there by Da Costa Gonzalez on Pakova. Free kick to the visitors. Taylor. Mehrholz. Ali in field. Day back deep just to help out defensively. Here's Osborne. Nyarko underneath it, but well dealt with by the Robins. James. Bristol City skipper this afternoon at right back. Ali. Options ahead of him. Lays it into the path of Griffin. Really good defensive interception there from Kobe Moto. Well weighted pass there from Zach Ali. And if it wasn't going to be Moto, it was probably going to be Charlie Osborne. Both of them there getting across well to deny Jack Griffin what would, I'm sure, have been a very dangerous cross. Ali with the corner. Flicked onto the back post. Comes out to Hogg on the edge of the area. Couldn't get that clean connection. Hewlett. Taylor to his left. Here is Taylor. Ali. Da Costa Gonzalez. Akambone. Bit of room down that left flank for Merritt. Merritt still driving forward. Lovely run from Merritt. Can he find a teammate? Looking for Moto at the back post. Kept in by Moto. Not quite. Goal kick. Energetic run that from Alfie Merritt down the left. Finch. Bit too much heat on that pass from Isaac Finch. Throw into the cherries. Merritt will take. Nyarko. Here's Ali. Surging run through the middle. Good interception. Important interception in there from Christie as they look to get something going down the right-hand side, the visitors. Dixon to Osborne. To Costa Gonzalez. Play on, says the referee. Hogg now on the edge of the area. Pakova linking up. Here's Pakova. Good foot in there from Osborne. Just as Pakova was looking to pull the trigger. And some room and space now for Moto. Switch of play. Oh, it's a lovely ball out to Rhys Dottin. Just an awkward bounce in front of the youngster. Brought it under control really well under pressure. And some lovely footwork again from Rhys Dottin. Switch back to Moto. Tricky play down the right. Early cross in. Bit of space. Calls of time there for Stevens on the edge of the box. Here's to Costa Gonzalez. Moto still advanced from that earlier run. Stevens. Michael da Costa Gonzalez. Foul on Osborne. Free kick to the Cherries. Referee's just going to pull play back. Bristol City left back. Down injured, requiring a bit of treatment. So another delay while that happens. And we'll get the free kick eventually. So Bournemouth 2-0 up. Rhys Dottin with the opening goal in the second minute. This will give an opportunity for the players to head over some instructions from Alan Connell. Just articulating and distributing a few things he's seen from the opening half an hour of this match so far. As we said, Rhys Dottin giving the Cherries the goal giving the Cherries the lead inside the opening 2 minutes of the match, winning the ball back high on the edge of the Bristol City box, turning away from a bit of pressure really nicely, and then a lovely finish into the bottom corner past Isaac Finch, the Bristol City goalkeeper. And then more direct play really for Bournemouth second, through the middle, through ball into the path of Johnny Day. Bournemouth had tried it a few times, it hadn't quite come off. But in the 21st minute, Day getting the better of the Bristol City backline. Getting himself goal side through one-on-one with the keeper, slotting it through the legs of Isaac Finch. Score his second goal in 2 games. Got Bournemouth on their way home to Cardiff earlier on this week. The Cherries were 2-0 down in this Professional Development League. Went down to 10 men as well after Harold William was sent off. Johnny Day's goal, lovely first time finish, put Bournemouth back in that match before Michael da Costa Gonzalez stepped up from the penalty spot, having been fouled himself, to secure a point for the Cherries. It was Johnny Day's first goal since returning from a broken metatarsal. And he's returned in some fine goal-scoring form, adding a second today. Here is Stevens with play back underway. Merritt. And James will come away with it for City. Good foot in there from Akambone. Stepping up high just to cut off the play. Finch. Moto reading that well. Cleared by Dixon. One back in the middle of the park by Ezendu. Hewlett. To Taylor. Good pressing in there from Nyarko and Day, and Bournemouth have done really well to win it back. Here's Da Costa Gonzalez. Into the path of Day again. Early first time strike. Saved by Finch. Really doesn't need a second invitation to pull the trigger, Johnny Day. And Finch to the rescue again for Bristol City. That left leg doing the business. Day close to a second goal in this game. Moto with the throw. Flicked on by Day. Ali with the clearance. Akambone underneath it for the Cherries. Stevens with a bit of help from Rhys Dutton. Winning the ball back. Can't keep it in. Merholz. Osborne with the foot in there for the Cherries. Christie under a bit of pressure, does well. Osborne again. Rhys Dutton. Lovely turn again from Rhys Dutton. Oh, that's a tidy cross in with the outside of the right boot. Real shame that didn't reach its intended target in the middle. The turn alone there from Rhys Dutton deserving of something to develop out of that attack for the Cherries. Akambone gives away the foul. Matai Akambone trying to explain that his shirt was being pulled just as much. Referee Gary Parsons having none of it. Finch. Ezendu. Big week for Daniel Ezendu in the middle of the park for Bristol City. Club announcing on Tuesday that he's signed his first professional contract. Big moment for any young academy footballer. Here he is again, Ezendu. Merholz. Out to the left and Ali. Taylor looks diagonally for the run of Ali. Can he keep it in? Not quite. Well, had the first attempt, but certainly not at the second. Dixon. Stevens does well. Rhys Dutton again. Early into the path of Nyarko. That'll be 3 for the Cherries. And the knee slide to go with it to celebrate for Eugene Nyarko. Bournemouth well in control of this game now against Bristol City. 3 goals, 3 different scorers. Eugene Nyarko with the latest. Charlie Stevens with the assist. Really good work in the middle of the park there, initially from Stevens. Rhys Dutton, of course, then with the assist. There was the player in between, wasn't there? And Nyarko with the finish. past Isaac Finch. And if not for Finch, really, this game could be 4 or 5 for Bournemouth. Eugene Nyarko has been in some good goal-scoring form for Alan Connell's side recently as well. Scoring twice in their recent Premier League Cup game, which saw them through to the quarter-finals of the competition for the first time. Finch just about sorting his feet out in time. Ali. Ezendu forward and back out to the left, and Ali again finds Pakova inside the box. Good defending again from the Cherries. Griffin trying to work some room there to pull the trigger. Ali with the throw-in. Hewlett. James. Stevens again winning the ball back alongside Christie. Osborne. Stevens. Akambone. Christie, early ball forward, looking for that run again of Day. Day does well. Still there for him on the edge of the area. Moto. Da Costa Gonzalez. Would have been a tester for Finch if it had got that far. Good interception on the edge of the box for the visitors. His Merritt. To Stevens. Stevens draws the foul and wins the free kick for the Cherries. In a really dangerous position on the edge of the box. Charlie Stevens will be the man to place it down. Alfie Merritt there is the left-footed option too. Stevens then right-footed, down low, spilt by the keeper and tapped in by Matai Akambone. Bournemouth go 4-0 up on Bristol City. Charlie Stevens involved again, this time with the free kick. Caused real problems for Isaac Finch in goal for Bristol City, and Matai Akambone probably won't get an easier finish than that. Bournemouth 4, Bristol City 0. Shades of Antoine Semenyo away at Leeds earlier on in the season. A free kick down low underneath the wall, causing problems. Stevens free kick. Too hot for Isaac Finch to handle. Day. Bundled over. Free kick to the Cherries. Rhys Dotton opened the scoring for the Cherries way back in the second minute. Set them on their way, set the tone this afternoon. Da Costa Gonzalez. Moto. Day wants it in the middle of the box. Still Moto. Marked closely by Ali. Moto's done really well there, and he wins a corner for the Cherries. So Merritt to deliver the corner. Deep. Too much on that for Stevens. Throw into Bristol City. Win for the Cherries today, which it certainly looks like being. I'd move them on to 31 points. That takes them up to third in the table, above Watford, who are there level on points with on 28, and up and above Brentford on 29, currently in third too. Free kick to Bristol City. Foul given against Charlie Stevens there on Leo Pekova. Not quite on that occasion, but Charlie Stevens having a really strong game in the middle of the park for the Cherries so far this afternoon. Been involved in some of the goals, captain in the side. Of course, fresh off the back of some first team squad involvement as well. Here comes the cross in from Bristol City. Reece Dotton up with the header. Christie gets the clearance. And James will keep it in. Akambone with the header away. Moto will clear the Bournemouth lines. And there's the half-time whistle. A really good first 45 for Alan Connell's side. Goals from Remy Reece Dotton, Johnny Day, Eugene Nyarko and Matai Akambone will send them in 4-0 up at half-time. They've controlled the match so far. And they are on course to lift themselves up to third in the Professional Development League table. Second half coverage to come here on AFCB TV, brought to you in association with ESAT. Half time from the Performance Centre. It is AFC Bournemouth 4, Bristol City 0. So the players back out ready for the second half at the Performance Centre in Camford Magna after a very impressive first 45 for the Cherries against Bristol City this afternoon. They hold on to a 4-0 lead. Goals from Remy Rees-Dotton inside the opening second minutes, added to by Johnny Day, Eugene Nyarko and Matai Akambone just before half-time. At the other end of the pitch, it has been a very quiet afternoon so far for Cherries goalkeeper Danny Dixon. I'll run you through the lineups in full then. Bournemouth making a change at the break. And it will be Bristol City to get us back underway. Mehrholz launches it long and direct down the left. So Noah Bouton on at half-time for the Cherries. In at left-back. Looks like Alfie Merritt has moved into centre-back. Alongside Charlie Osborne. Matai Akambone off at half-time, having provided an assist for Johnny Day's goal. And then a goal himself as well. A good afternoon's worth for the American. So Bournemouth with Danny Dixon in goal. Kobe Moto, Charlie Osborne, Alfie Merritt, and now Noah Bouton, the back four from right to left. Zach Christie and Charlie Stevens playing ahead of them. In the middle of the park for the Cherries this afternoon, Michael da Costa Gonzalez is down the right wing. Remy Rees-Dotton down the left. Eugene Nyarko and Johnny Day, the two central strikers for Alan Connell's side this afternoon. The Bournemouth bench, Zavia Campbell, Jalil Conte, Ethan Sills and George Chubindizi still available for Alan Connell should he require them in this second half. Looks like a change for Bristol City as well. It was sent Jack Hooper on to play in their back line for the second half. Here's Joseph James into Mehrholz. Finds the feet of Ezendu. James, Ezendu. Hooper. Max Davies on over on the left-hand side as well for Bristol City. Moto with a throw for the Cherries then. In front of that quite incredible flooding over on the far side. That is usually Camford Park Sang, where you would normally see people enjoying a walk, and plenty of dog walkers. You need a boat to get round it at the moment. That little hut there over on the far side, a few years ago, was the halfway house for Camford Magna Golf Course. Before, of course, the Cherries took over the area to build this new and impressive performance centre. The sheer volume of rain has been quite incredible. Overnight again here in Dorset too. But the surface has really held up well despite all the rain. It's a carpet for those young players to ply their trade on this afternoon. Moto does well to miss it there. Throw into the Cherries, into the feet of Christie. Moto dispossessed by the substitute Davies. Davies back to Griffin. Griffin to Ezendu. To Hooper and Ezendu again. Here's Hewlett. Won back well by Merritt. Hewlett. To Hooper. Christie hits the deck, but referee Gary Parsons says that's a foul by Christie and a free kick to Bristol City. James, back in field to Hewlett. Hewlett forward to Mearholes. Great save away to the right-hand side by Dixon. He's not had much to do this afternoon, but he was there when Bournemouth needed to him at the first time of asking in the second half. Lovely touch and then strike from Mearholes, and strong right arm there away to the right from Danny Dixon. Corner taken short. Bournemouth win it back through Moto. We mentioned the likes of Charlie Stevens and Remy Rees-Stotton being involved with the first team recently. Let's come back to that in a minute, because his day again. He's done well down the right there for the Cherries. Just needs a bit of support. Arrives from Moto. Back to Christie. Moto. Bouton. Into the path of Rees-Stotton. Gets there. Good sliding tackle in the end from Joseph James. Corner to the Cherries. First of this second half. So we see a shot there just down to the left-hand side of the Wimborne Town manager, Tim Sills, whose son Ethan Sills on the bench for the Cherries this afternoon. Hoping to get some game time in this second half. Christie will come across to take the corner for the Cherries. Of course, Tim Sills himself, a former Torquay United striker. Christie with the corner. That's a testing one. Drops to Merritt on the edge of the box. Head injury just on the edge of the 6-yard area there. So referee Gary Parsons will call a halt to proceedings. It's Max Davies who's gone down. Testing corner that from Christie. Right into the mix-up. Didn't quite drop kindly enough for Merritt on the edge of the area as he looked to pull the trigger. Finch, the keeper, will work it out to the left, and Ezendu forward to Pakova. He's fouled. Christie with too much of a shirt there. And a yellow card for young Zach Christie. Called up to England's under-16s at the end of last year. Special moment for him. There's Christie again, just putting Pakova under a bit of pressure. DaCosta Gonzalez joins in. His day looks up early, looking for the run of Nyarko. Lovely touch from Nyarko. Oh, and it's gone in! Bristol City get themselves in all sorts of mess at the back. It's the captain, Joseph James, who's turned it into his own net. Johnny Day with the early ball forward. The first touch from Nyarko straight into the path of Joseph James. And he just couldn't get out of the way quick enough. He pokes it past his own keeper. And Bournemouth go 5-0 up. Bournemouth 5, Bristol City 0. A 5-star performance from the Cherries so far. A real dominant display. And they are on course to move up from 5th to 3rd in the Premier League's Professional Development League table. They'll go up above Watford, who they're currently level on points with, and above Brentford too. Level on games played too. They'll put Bournemouth 4 points in behind Peterborough in second. Peterborough have played a game more than the Cherries. Pakova can't keep that one in. Goal kick to the Cherries and Danny Dixon. Just going back to what I was about to tell you a few moments ago. We've obviously seen the likes of Remy Rees-Stotton, Charlie Stevens, Malcolm da Costa Gonzalez, all part of the first team setup recently. Danny Dixon himself, who made a really good save in this second half. And some good footwork there under a bit of pressure too. Has also enjoyed some time with the first team recently. He's been third choice goalkeeper on match days in the Premier League, recently with Liverpool. Managed to get his hands on Alisson's shirt at the end of the game as well, which I know he was delighted with. Bournemouth trying to apply some pressure to that Robins backline, and they do it well. And Stevens has regained possession for the Cherries, but da Costa Gonzalez can't put it into the path of day. And now Bristol City will try and break it the other end. Early ball into the path of Hogg. And Noah Bouton on as a half-time substitute's done really well there. Had to get that one right. Good vision and a good pass into Hogg. Bouton equal to it. And then sensible defending as well there, just to allow Danny Dixon to come out and claim. Dixon arriving from Arsenal in the summer. He's had a loan spell already out with New Milton too. Free kick to Bristol City in the middle of the park. Alfie Merritt can't believe it. Hewlett. 1-2 with Davies. Hewlett forward through the middle this time to Ezendu. A bit of space for Ezendu to work in. Laid off early and out to the right now and Ali. Back in field to Meerholz. Hewlett again. Bournemouth sitting back in the low block, just happy for Bristol City to have the ball in these situations. 5-0 up, remember. A 4-goal cushion at half-time. Joseph James's own goal in the second half. Further extending the Cherries' lead. Osborne. Turn in the middle of the park there by Davies. Well, one back by the Cherries. Moto will let that one roll out. Griffin. Free kick to the Cherries. Ali there just pulling down Noah Bouton off the ball. As Bournemouth were looking to break, and it would be a yellow card for Zach Ali too. Stevens to Osborne and then out to the right in Moto. Alan Connell will be really impressed with his side so far. They'll be extending their unbeaten run in all competitions to 4 games this afternoon. Carrying that momentum forward, of course, with a Premier League Cup quarter-final for the first time in the club's history still to come. Osborne bundled over there. Free kick given to Charlie Osborne. Better known, really, Charlie Osborne is a versatile midfielder that can play at fullback, but doing a great job in its centre-back for the Cherries again this afternoon. Yellow card in there for Harry Hogg. Referee Gary Parsons still not happy. So he'll pull the free kick to be taken again for a 3rd time. Really great to see Gary Parsons out there refereeing, a name you may recognise. Diagnosed with bowel cancer back in 2020, made a full recovery, and he was the man in charge of the Hampshire Senior Cup game when David Brooks made his comeback from cancer in March 2023. Got a fair bit of coverage at the time. Gary Parsons getting a bit trigger happy with that yellow card at the moment. That one's going to be for Johnny Day. And a change coming up for the Cherries. That is going to be the last of the action for Johnny Day as he continues his comeback from that fractured metatarsal. Another goal for him, another lovely finish. And on comes Ethan Seals for the last half hour of this match. Seals has been with the Cherries since the age of just 7, progressing through the ranks. One of the youngest players to play for the under-18s at the age of just 14. Throw into Bristol City. Christie with the header looking for Moto. Robbins getting there first. Seals with his first involvement in the match. Davies. Hooper. Good pressing there from Stevens. Welshman giving away a throw-in though to Bristol City. City have definitely enjoyed more time in the Bournemouth half in this second 45, certainly than they did in the first. Only real big chance though. Produced a brilliant save from Danny Dixon in goal for the Cherries to deny the Robins their first goal of the game. Joseph James' own goal, the only goal of the second half so far. Rhys Dotton, Day, Nyarko and Akimbone all on target in the first half for the Cherries. Remy Rhys Dotton's goal coming in the opening 2 minutes of this match. Really did set the tone for this Bournemouth performance. Osborne. Ball into Sills. Here's Bouton. Bouton immediately shifting the ball out of his feet and getting round the outside of Ali. Dangerous delivery into the box. Stevens was waiting for it. Good clearance in there from the Robins. Behind for a corner to the Cherries. Great run from Bouton down the left. The minute he shifted the ball out of his feet, took him well away from Ali. Real dangerous ball as well into that corridor of uncertainty we mentioned earlier on in the game. Christie will come across again to take the corner for Bournemouth. Another player who's been with the academy a long time. This one's taken short and shifted into the box from Sills. Moto. All the way back to Dixon. A rare touch for him in this match. Sills. Bouton. Osborne. Hails from Ringwood, Charlie Osborne. Had some good loan spells out in Bognor and Totten earlier on this season. Spent a season out in the Austrian Bundesliga as well in 2024. Playing for Harzburg. Would have been really valuable experience for him out there. Here's Rhys Dotton. Fires to Costa Gonzalez. Bournemouth have got Nyarko down off the ball. The referee, I think, is going to bring play back. Nyarko's going to need some treatment. Really nice early first-time finish from Eugene Nyarko to add Bournemouth's third in this game in the 38th minute. If you read about him on the AFC Bournemouth club website, he says he's inspired by and looks up to the likes of Robert Lewandowski, Cristiano Ronaldo and Antoine Semenyo because they are ruthless goal scorers. Well, he certainly showed that himself this afternoon and in recent weeks too. Good to see him up and looking around. Roles reversed, really. We mentioned earlier on in the season, October, it was Bristol City, 4-0 winners in the earlier fixture between these two. Bournemouth going one better so far today and still time to add some more. So just pulling it back, the referee to make sure Eugene Nyarko was okay, not bringing play back for a free kick. He's going to leave that for Isaac Finch, the Bristol City goalkeeper, to restart. James. Boot on with the header. And Christie finds the nod back to Dixon. To Costa Gonzalez. Early ball, looking for Rhys Doughton, who's got a bit of room to work with. If he can get there, he can. Thelwell immediately alongside him. Rhys Doughton goes down. Joseph James pleads his innocence. No penalty, says the referee. Let's take another look at this. Rhys Doughton infield, sealed with the return pass. I think James getting himself out the way just in time there. No real strong, huge appeals from Rhys Doughton for the penalty. Free kick to the Cherries. Moto wants to take it quickly. Christie to Merritt. Merritt was scouted for the Cherries while he was playing for Eastleigh. Long time ago now. He's been with the Bournemouth Academy since the age of 7. Sills, early, looking for Nyarko. Moto. Free kick to the Cherries, just away from your vision there off the screen. Alfie Merritt, in fact, it was just being held. Osborne. Out to Moto. Moto's intention always, as soon as he gets the ball at his feet, is to try and advance forward down that line. Couldn't get the better of the left back on that occasion. Looks like we may see some Bournemouth changes soon. Christie does well there to dispossess the Robins. Dixon. Moto. Awkward bounce in front of him. Does well there. Dixon looking for some angle and finds it so he can clear it. From the back post from Osborne. Here's Nyarko. Bournemouth looking to get something going through Rhys Doughton. Ball just seemed to spring up off the surface there. Took it away from Merritt, but here's Merritt again. Rhys Doughton to his left. Dixon. Osborne. Change coming up for the visitors. Leo Pakova heading off. And we're going to get a change for the Cherries. Rhys Doughton, having set Bournemouth on their way this afternoon, is going to be replaced by Jalil Conte. Good afternoon's work for Rhys Doughton. It was a really tidy goal as well in the second minute. Won the ball back high for the Cherries on the edge of the box. It was a lovely turn past a couple of defenders. And then a finish down low into the bottom corner. And Bournemouth haven't looked back since. So Adam Murphy, the man on for Bristol City. One of the more experienced players in their under-21 side. Been out on loan at Swindon recently. Made 5 appearances for them. Europa Conference League experience as well for Adam Murphy, coming on into the middle of the park for the visitors. That European experience coming from his time at St. Patrick's Athletic back in his native island. Before he was picked up by Bristol City, signing a 3.5-year deal back in January 2024. So one for Bournemouth to keep an eye on in these final 20 minutes. Cherries in cruise control really at the moment. 5-0 up and looking very comfortable. Trying to initiate the press up high, and they've done well. Seals into Nyarko, edge of the box. Nyarko shoots! Saved again by Finch. Conte will pick up the rebound. Needs a bit of support. Arrives in the form of Bouton. Conte doesn't need the support. In fact, that's a good cross in. Nyarko with the head up. Always a difficult one from that far out to get on target and trouble Isaac Finch's goal. See that strike again from Nyarko. Shifts it quickly onto his right foot. Some good pace behind it. Sure, he'll feel just too close to Isaac Finch. Finch did well to clear the danger area. A bit of wildlife in the background as well, with a stork looking for his lunch somewhere in the River Stour, which has well and truly burst its banks in recent days. Moto. Back to Osborne. Dixon with time to assess his options. Bouton allowed to advance into the Bristol City half. It's Conte, the second half substitute. Direct from Conte. Too many white shirts in his way in the end. Seals working hard in the middle of the park. Hogg gives it away. Space for Da Costa Gonzalez. Moto sprinted to get forward on the underlap. Here is Moto. First time ball in, cut off at the front post. Hogg beaten to it by Merritt. Seals to Bouton. Merritt fires it into Nyarko. Good control from Nyarko. Shifts it quickly to Christie. Christie and Stevens linking up. Griffin. Murphy. Some lovely footwork from Murphy on that occasion. Ball forward into the path of Griffin. Griffin back in towards Hogg. Bournemouth recovering well. It's Griffin. Mearholes works it to Thelwell. Marley Thelwell retaining possession well. Back to Joseph James. James still the scorer of the only goal of this second half. Into his own net. Here's Griffin looking to change that. Forward to Meerholz. Across the face a goal. No one there in white to get on the end of it. Bournemouth clear their lines. A trip to QPR to come for Alan Connell's side next on Tuesday. Before another trip, slightly longer, across the border into Wales in Swansea on the 17th of February. A difficult home match against Millwall later on this month before another away game at Watford in the Professional Development League. So lots of travelling for Alan Connell's side to do in the weeks to come. Of course, AFCB TV, your place to be for all of the coverage. Thanks to our partners ESET for making it possible. Stevens with the shot. Another save from Finch. Charlie Stevens has had a really good game captaining the side in the middle of the park. The only thing really missing from it is a goal to add to his performance. A free kick given against Alfie Merritt for the foul on Hogg. There'll be a free kick to the visitors. Cherries Mayfield, Sheffield United, perhaps too far off at the top of the table. Well, you never know. But certainly the win today will help them in terms of hopefully securing a place in the top 8 come the end of the campaign, so that they can move into that knockout competition with the teams from above. Fired well wide there with the cross and out for a goal kick to Danny Dixon's. Yeah, so at the end of the season, the top 8 teams from the Professional Development League go into the knockout stage to battle to be crowned the Professional Development League champions, where they will face the bottom 8 teams from Premier League 2. Premier League 2, of course, is where you find your Category 1 academy sides. Bournemouth last season finishing top of the southern group of the Professional Development League before, of course, the slight change in format this season, where you're still split into north and south for your league games, but it is one big league table which is looked at the end. That change for Bristol City sees Jack Griffin off, Tom Chaplin introduced, and we're going to get a double change for the Cherries too. High fives from Alan Connell. Off goes Eugene Nyarko, scorer of the Cherries' third goal. And Michael da Costa Gonzalez is also headed off. On comes Zavia Campbell at the back for the Cherries. He'll play it right back. And George Chubanidze is also introduced. Had a really good summer, George Chubanidze. Called up to the Georgia under-19s. Represented them. Put in some good performances. And they'll have just over 10 minutes to try and make an impact on this game. And here he is, George Chubanidze. Free kick given for the foul by Chubanidze. Looked like something might open up for him there. Just was squeezed for room in the end. Born in Winchester, raised in Andover. And when he's not in the red and black of the Cherries, he's a very keen pianist. How to play Throw into Bristol City. Thelwell. Link it up with Meerholz. Murphy in there as well. And Robbins will try again. James. Hewlett. Finch to clear long. Bouton with the headed clearance. Conte chops away from trouble. Merritt to Dixon. Sills under pressure on the edge of his own area. Merritt does well. Bournemouth retaining possession until Ezendu steps in and wins it back for the Robins. Campbell applying some pressure at right back for the Cherries. Here's Meerholz still. Low shot. Saved by Dixon. Really dangerous, Jed Meerholz on the edge of the box. Second save he's produced from Danny Dixon in this second half. Dixon will tell you that one was much more comfortable than the first, which was a brilliant save away to his right-hand side. And Bournemouth on the break at the other end. Still there for the Cherries. Sills. Fires it into Conte. Sills. Trying to wrap his left foot round that one. He just wrapped it round too much in the end. Into the final 10 minutes then. Remy Rees-Dotton, Johnny Day, Eugene Nyarko, Matai Akinbone and a Joseph James own goal have given Bournemouth their 5-0 lead in this game. Three points for the Cherries. As we said, we'll move them on to 31 points. That puts them 7 points clear of Charlton in 9th. So a decent cushion opening up to those, well, inside those top 8 places. Christie. Campbell. Former Crystal Palace academy player is Zavia Campbell. Stepping up from the under-18s to be involved in this under-21s game today. Chubanidze putting a bit of pressure on the edge of the box. Bristol City have worked it well to Chaplin. Best ball forward cut off by Merritt. Oh, that's a late one there on Conte. That'll be a free kick and a yellow card. Bouton will retrieve it. And the man who was fouled, Conte, will take. His Merritt. Christie. Well closed down over on that far side by Murphy. And Campbell will take the throw in. Some pedigree in Zavia Campbell's family. His mum played for Tottenham Women for several seasons. And that's a long throw as well, down the line. Osborne, who's been solid all game, just ushering that one out of play. Started his career at Ringwood Town, did Charlie Osborne. Campbell again will try and advance Bournemouth up the field. Sills beaten to it by Meerholz. Referee playing the advantage will pull it back for that foul on Alfie Merritt. Bouton. Enjoyed a spell on loan at Eastleigh last season. Here's Sills. Sills forward to Stevens on the edge of the area. Just playing slightly more advanced now in this second half, Charlie Stevens. Out to Campbell. Campbell decides against the cross. Christie trying to link up with Stevens on the edge of the box. Bournemouth will have to reset through Osborne. Campbell down the line to Moto. Couldn't find a return pass. Campbell. Early throw in to Stevens. Was he fouled on the edge of the box? No, says the referee. Osborne now backpedaling. Dixon looking for the run of Stevens, and he's found it, but it's just too much on that. It will run through to his opposite number, Isaac Finch. Flicked on by Murphy. Osborne there again. If you've missed perhaps while you've been following this coverage of the development squad, Andoni Irola's pre-match press conference ahead of tomorrow's game against Aston Villa in the Premier League. It's revealed he's hoping to have David Brooks back and available in the matchday squad from injury. Here's George Chubanidze and Conte. Conte fouled. No, says the referee. Play on. Like he had his ankles clipped there. Sills. Oh, lovely play on the edge of the box. Chubanidze back into the path of Stevens on the turn. That would have been some goal if he'd have been able to squeeze it past the defender. Kept in by Campbell over on the right. Referee says, in fact, it wasn't kept in by Campbell. Throw into the Robins. If you're heading to the Vitality Stadium for Bournemouth against Aston Villa tomorrow, don't forget there will be some changes, particularly in and around the south end of the ground in the Ted McDougall South Stand, with the enabling works getting underway as Bournemouth begin the very first early stages of the redevelopment of Vitality Stadium. You can find out more and read it all about the changes which might impact you on a match day up on the AFC Bournemouth Club website right now. Corner to the Cherries here. Cruising towards a 5-0 victory. Can they find a sixth before that full-time whistle goes? Sills will take the corner. To Tester, well cleared at the front post. Bouton, still in a bit of space out on that right, and said Bouton will look to the left. Campbell. Conte. Caused those Bristol City defenders a few problems since coming on, has Jalil Conte. Moto just couldn't sort his feet out in time there on the edge of the box. Had a bit of space ahead of him too. Now Bristol City on the breakaway. Here's Murphy. Murphy laying it off to Chaplin. Back to Murphy. He's pushed that one too wide. Too much on that for Hogg. Bournemouth heading for a 7th home win of the season in this professional development league. Campbell down the line. Stevens in the aerial battle. Finch. Meerholt. Ezendu. Looks up early. Cut off by the Cherries. Meerholt's there again. Thelwell. Comfortable one for Dixon to claim out of the sky. Near holes. Nice Chaplin. Chaplin with the shot. Another big save. This time away to the left from Danny Dixon. To keep the clean sheet intact. Chaplin this time from the edge of the box. Oh, full stretch there from Danny Dixon away to his left-hand side. Great goalkeeping from the youngster. He's not been the busiest this afternoon, but when he's been called into action, he's been really alert to it. Corner will be taken by Murphy. Put over the bar. Another play for a goal kick. And there's the full-time whistle. A comprehensive 5-0 victory for Alan Connell's development squad over Bristol City in the Professional Development League. Remy Restoughton setting Bournemouth on their way in the second minute. Johnny Day then adding a second through Matai Akinbone's through ball. Another lovely finish from Johnny Day. Eugene Nyarko in the goals again for Bournemouth, adding a third. Remy Restoughton going from scorer to provider. Just before half-time, Charlie Stevens with a smart free kick under the Bristol City wall, parried by the goalkeeper, straight into the path of Matai Akinbone to score an easy finish from inside the 6-yard area. And then just the one goal to come in the second half, an own goal after some good work from Eugene Nyarko, cutting into the path of Joseph James, who could only toe poke it past his own goalkeeper. Bournemouth with a 5-0 victory. Another 3 points on the board. Take them on to 31 in total in the Professional Development League, up and above Watford and Brentford into third in the table for the time being at least. Thank you very much for watching along this afternoon. Don't forget the Cherries will be back. The Young Cherries in action away at QPR next Tuesday. And before that, you can follow Bournemouth against Aston Villa in the Premier League as the senior squad look to continue their good form with live commentary on AFC TV tomorrow. Thank you very much for your company this afternoon. And a big thank you to our partners ESET for making it possible. Full time from the Performance Centre. Bournemouth 5, Bristol City 0.